now I'm going to explain how matchups work. So the way matchups work, as if you watched the last video I was trying to point out, is that they'll affect your decision making at different points in the game. So I think an important way to look at it is to first, before I can explain matchups, I have to explain Oki-like decisions. So I call them all Oki just as a blanket term because they're all so similar, and it makes everything easier. So if you're on a knockdown, this is how I often choose to represent a knockdown. Person 1, person 2. This is the traditional Oki, but there's also the falling from the air reset Oki, and then there's some other types. I think those are the two main ones. There's ground Oki and air Oki. But point is, there's a lot of decisions like this. So most of the time, the game really relies on these snap decisions where you find out, you make an important decision, and the game changes because of it. So one that I will break down that you see often is the jump in. So in other Street Fighter games, it's really not as complex as in Third Strike, because if you jump in, they're supposed to anti-air you. That is the answer. He jumped in, I anti-air. Period. You only don't do that if you were conditioned to, not anti-air, and you were slow to react and you blocked or something like that, or whatever. So in Third Strike, it's a little bit different. So actually, we broke this down at the arcade. Let me find my notes real quick. Just a second. Okay, found it. So, yes, okay. So we called it Showtime strategy. It's based off of 1-2-3s. Well, no, Showtime strategy is for the traditional offense, but this kind of. Okay, wait. I see what I'm saying. Okay, so just to make sure I don't get lost. Matchups, Oki, and then his strongest choice. Okay, so the way you strategize is the first thing you want to do is not become a victim to whatever is his strongest choice. So think of whenever you're fighting Dudley. So if you're on the ground, if you're really tall, you're a basketball player. If you're on the ground and Dudley, I guess we'll give him a mustache just so you know he's Dudley, is jumping at you, then what is his strongest choice? Well, his strongest choice is to do jump heavy punch, standing heavy kick into heavy punch DP. That's the combo he wants to land, right? So he does that. So your first move is always to defend against whatever your opponent's strongest move is. So that way, even if you do have to guess, it's a favorable kind of guess. Because look at it like this. If you get hit by the combo, you lose 1/3 of your life bar. What else do you lose? He gets like 2/3 of a bar of meter, so he almost gets corkscrew blow. And then he gets a knockdown, maybe, possibly in the corner. And you have to guess from that situation. And you don't want to have to guess in that situation because that's where Dudley wins. So the idea is, okay, well, let's see what will happen if I choose to block the jump in instead. If I block it, then he can still make me guess, but it's different. So if let's say he does a deep jump in, he's like +9 or +10 or something. So if I block that, then you have to hold him. He can still do the high-low mix-up. You've ever seen Dudley players really like do hook, boom, corkscrew blow, but he'll do jump in heavy punch and you're in block stun. If you're in block stun, he's going to make you guess, but the guess is better. So now you have to guess between high, but you can mash out, low, and throw. So those things. And it's favorable to guess from here at the mid screen than to guess here in the corner. Because while you're guessing here, you still have all this life that you didn't lose. He doesn't have all this meter, and you're still at the mid screen, which is a better position to be in, right? So these are the kind of decisions that inform people's strategy. So what people do is they want to make it so that they make these choices automatically. In a fight, there's two parts of your brain going on at any given time. There's your conscious and your subconscious. Your conscious is not your conscience. Your conscious mind is the one that is logically trying to rationalize everything and make decisions that make sense. But your subconscious mind is the one that goes off of feel. If you ever fought a player and asked them, done this so many times, so much frustration, where somebody would beat me and I would ask them, so what were you thinking whenever you did this? And they'd be like, I don't know. What am I supposed to do with that? How am I supposed to get anything from that? But the thing is, I can't, because it's a subconscious decision. So the idea is, if you can't avoid using your subconscious mind, and your conscious mind can't cover everything anyway, the ideal way to account for your human flaws is to instead make your subconscious do all of the best things automatically, so that when you have to deliberately adapt with your conscious mind, you're losing out as little as possible, if that makes sense. So the idea is, okay, so if Dudley's going to jump at me, then my best thing to do is to block, because that way I don't get hit by the offense. But if I see that he's jumping a lot, then I can turn on my conscious mind, and next time I'll parry. And if I parry, then I'll get an opening. And then after that, I can go back to blocking to see how he adjusts to that. Right? Makes sense? So that's the idea. Going back to the what versus how from the skill video, it's basically, there's the what, and you're building like this huge like metal system, I guess. You're building this huge system. This is the how. So he has to get through this really, really strong looking how in order to get to the what, which is he wants to win. So it's basically, I have a better analogy. It's like piloting a big mecha suit. You know, at the end of the day, we're all human. None of us are really geniuses, but certain Third Strike players just have bigger and better mecha suits than others. You know, if you don't understand how to relegate certain decisions to your subconscious, then you're just fighting with your bare knuckles. But if you know, okay, well, if I do this, then it cuts off all of his options, and so I'm going to make that automatic. And then whenever he gets wise to it, then I'll be deliberate. That's basically like having giant robot arms and legs and armor and like a huge fire sword or something. I don't know. And so whenever you go up to somebody who's fighting with their bare knuckles, you just have them for dinner or something, dude. So that's why it's so strong to automate the process. That's the purpose of this series, is to teach you how to build a mecha suit. So that's the idea, is to figure out how to navigate these decisions, which I call pinch points. So a pinch point, a critical moment in a matchup. Got something in my eye. Critical moment in a matchup where the tide of the game can completely change. So Dudley's jump in. Can't see anything. Chun corner control. Yun Ganejin. What are some other ones? I think Ryu Denjin. Those are pinch points. Yeah, those are the moments that can change the course of the match. So you want to automate it to where you're probably going to win unless they do something ridiculous. That way, you don't have to think about anything you don't need to, and you can. That way, if you're not thinking about it, you can focus on what's really important, which is what he's thinking about. Because if you have everything automated to where you're going to win unless he does something ridiculous, then that frees up your space in your mind to think about, okay, he's doing this, And that means he's thinking this, right? And I'm going to teach you how to do that right now. So just so you can look at it one more time. We're going to, yeah. Oh, no, it's 800 by 600. So his strongest choice is going to come back again. So once you know what his strongest choice is, this is what's going to allow you to figure out what he's thinking. So let's say, it'll be really easy, I promise. So let's go back to the Dudley jump in example. So if Dudley is jumping in with the mustache, actually let me give him the huge, because he's a huge dude. Yeah, huge arms. And then he's like, itty bitty legs. So he's coming for you. He jumps in and he's like, he can do a couple things here. This is an interaction I see a lot because I'm a Dudley player, right? So his strongest choice is jump heavy punch, standing heavy kick into heavy punch DP. Or maybe EX machine gun blow, depending on the context. So this is his strongest choice. But there are some other choices, as you might have experienced if you fought Dudley players. He can do early jump roundhouse. And I was about to write the answer, but why might he do early jump roundhouse? We'll find out in a second. Or he can do, what else? Deep jump heavy kick or jump heavy punch. Or he might do empty jump throw. Jump in parry, empty jump, backswing blow. Disgusting. Freaking gross. Empty jump, not short swing blow. Crouching light kick twice in the SA 1 and 3. So there's a whole bunch of different things he can do here. And as you play, you'll become more familiar with each. But there's a certain thought process behind each. And it is your job as the defender to identify that. Because me on offense, I'm also thinking about these kind of things. I'm like, okay, so what kind of choices is he going to make? Well, he could block, anti-air, normal, anti-air, special, multi-hit, anti-air, anti-air, low, some kind of crazy anti-air, I don't know, character specific. Gotta fit it in the screen. You could mash, throw, anti-air, parry, block, OS, which has different timings. So we're constantly comparing all of these decisions against each other because different ones will cover different choices. So his strongest choice, the defender's strongest choice, is to block. My strongest choice is to do this. But his strongest choice is only strongest because of mine. This is only in reaction to this, the potential that this might happen. So, now that we know this, so my strongest choice is jump heavy punch. Okay, so let's say he blocks it. So I'm like, okay, he probably knows that this is my strongest choice. So how can I do something else? What else can I get? Well, I could do early jump heavy kick, but he's already blocking, so it's going to lose. Blocking will still beat that. I could do deep jump heavy kick or jump heavy punch, but he's still blocking. It would beat that. I could do jump in parry, but it would kind of cancel out because he wouldn't give me anything to parry. I wouldn't put any button for him to block, so it's like, whatever. Now, I could do empty jump backswing blow, and if he chooses to mash throw, this one will win. Because backswing blow, huh, boom, corkscrew blow, yeah. So I could do empty jump, crouching light kick 2 in a super, but if he depends on how he blocks. Again, it's contextual. If he blocks high all the way, then I could do jump in, corkscrew blow, yeah, and knockdown. But if he blocks like a normal way, where he's like high and then low as soon as I land in front of him, then that's a normal way. and it won't work. So the answer to beat this usually is just empty jump throw. So once I start jumping in and throwing him, then he'll be like, okay, I can't block, so I'm going to mash throw next time he jumps in because I don't want to get thrown. Or he might do like crouch tech or something, which is a different OS. Forgot to write that down. So depending on which one he responds with, my option is going to change. Whoops. So if I jump in next time and he mashes throw, how do I beat that? Well, I could do anti-jump backswing blow. He's like, corkscrew blow. Die. Right? So then, if I know he's going to mash throw, then I could also do this and then walk back to wait for him to throw and then punish. Or I could deliberately delay my frame trap so that the frame trap will catch him, and then I'll do something like forward medium kick in a SA3 or 1, you know, something like that. The idea is, okay, he's going to do something here, and I have to pick something. And this is where it gets into creative decision making. Like, you know, there's so many different colors of paint, but at the end of the day, every painting is unique, right? Just like every match is unique. There's very few that are alike. There are some that are quite alike, but still, this is the point where it becomes creative, and you have to rely on your subconscious to make a decision here. So you start here, and then you see what they do, and then you try to choose the direction that will get you to win. If you don't, you don't. Take notes for next time. If you win, you won. Still take notes, but you won. So that is how you strategize in these situations. So yeah, I think that's good. So next, I'll talk about a Showtime strategy I mentioned at the beginning of the video to explain how to do okizeme offense. This is how I was taught. Well, some of it is what was taught to me. Some of it is my own, you know, learning. But I hope it'll help you because it definitely helped me. So, all right.